Once upon a time, in a busy town, a merchant made his living selling salt. He had a wife and two sons. His elder son was quiet, shy, and rarely spoke unless necessary. His younger son, in contrast, was lively and full of confidence. The townspeople often looked down on the elder one, mistaking his silence for foolishness. Some even took advantage of his innocence, but he never complained. His father, the merchant, grew increasingly frustrated by his timid behavior. He would scold him, hoping to toughen him up, but all it did was chip away at the boy's confidence.
He knew the answers but couldn't write them. His education suffered. Still, he kept trying. One day, his father told him, "You will help with the business now." The boy nodded, nervous but determined. As he grew older, his fear of failure became a part of him. During exams, his mind would freeze. Every mistake he made only made his father angrier. His hands trembled each time he handled the transaction. And then, one day, it happened. Some cunning men came to the shop. They claimed the merchant had sent them to take the salt to the city. The boy hesitated, but couldn't find the courage to question them. By the time he realized something was wrong, they were gone, with everything. When the merchant returned and found the shop empty, his fury exploded. "You fool! You've ruined me! Get out and never come back!" The words hit the boy like a storm. Laughter echoed in the streets. He had lost everything: his father's trust, his own dignity. Heartbroken, he wandered to the riverbank. The weight of failure pressed on him like never before. As the wind whispered around him, he thought, maybe the world would be better without him. But just as he stepped closer to the edge, someone pulled him back. A young disciple had seen him and saved him. Confused and angry, the boy cried out, "Why? Why save me? I'm nothing." The disciple simply said, "Because your story isn't over. Not yet."
And if you believe in stories that rise from rock bottom, don't forget to subscribe to AI Tales. The next part of this journey might surprise you. The boy wiped his tears and followed the disciple in silence. They walked for hours until they reached a peaceful ashram nestled beneath ancient trees. At its heart sat a saint, eyes closed in deep meditation. As the boy bowed before him, he couldn't hold back his emotions. He sobbed uncontrollably. The saint opened his eyes gently and asked, "Why are you crying, my child?" The boy whispered, "You are my last hope. If you cannot help me, I have no reason left to live." The saint listened patiently as the boy poured out his story. His failures, his father's rejection, the laughter of the townspeople, and the feeling of being invisible. When he finished, the saint looked at him with calm eyes and said, "I will help you, but first you must trust me and follow my guidance for 3 days. No matter how strange it feels, do exactly what I say." The boy, desperate for change, agreed.
On the first day, the saint said, "Go to the town, speak to 10 strangers, ask them about their lives. Listen carefully, then return and tell me what you learned." The boy's heart raced. Talk to strangers? But he remembered the disciples' words, "Your story isn't over." With trembling hands, he stepped into the market. Some ignored him. Some were annoyed, but one by one he gathered the courage to ask. And people responded. A kind old woman shared her grief. A farmer spoke of losing his crops. A child talked about dreams he couldn't afford. By sunset, the boy had spoken to 10 people. More than that, he had listened. And for the first time, he realized that pain wasn't his alone. Everyone carried something. As he walked back to the ashram, his steps felt lighter. "I did it," he said softly. The saint smiled when he heard the stories. You have taken your first step out of the shadows.
On the second day, the saint gave him a broom. "Clean the temple grounds," he said, "not just the surface. Remove the weeds, clear the corners, make it shine." The boy worked all day. Dirt covered his hands, sweat dripped from his brow, but as the sun set, the temple glowed. The saint said nothing, just nodded. Yet that silence spoke louder than words. That night the boy sat by the river, not with sorrow, but with stillness. For the first time, he felt proud of himself, not for impressing anyone, but for not giving up, for trying. And if this story moved you even a little, don't forget to subscribe to AI Tales, because every view, every click helps us bring more stories like this to light. Stories that remind us that even the quietest soul has the power to rise.
Nervously, the young man stood before the children. His voice trembled. His palms were sweaty. But he began. He spoke about 5 simple uses of water, how it keeps us alive, how it grows our food, how it cleanses, cools, and cures. Then, shyly, he left. "I was scared," he confessed to the saint, "but I did it." The saint nodded. "Good. Now try again." This time, something changed. The boy spoke with less fear. The children listened closely. By the end, he wasn't just teaching, he was enjoying it. And when he returned to the saint, he no longer looked down when he walked. "See," said the saint, "you are braver than you think." Then came the hardest task of all. "You must now return to your father," the saint said, "and ask him to forgive you." The boy's heart dropped. "No, he'll never forgive me." But the saint looked at him firmly. "If you don't go, I cannot help you anymore." And so, with shaking steps, he went back home. He stood before the man who once cast him out and said, "Father, I'm sorry. I want to earn back your trust." The merchant looked at his son for a long time, and then he forgave him. He saw something new in the boy's eyes: courage. When the boy returned to the saint, he asked, "Now, will you tell me the secret to confidence?" The saint smiled and said, "You already found it. Your greatest enemy was not your shyness. It was your fear. The world sees you the way you present yourself. Even if you feel weak, walk with purpose. No one will question you."
Years later, that same boy became a successful man, not because his life was easy, but because he chose not to run anymore. Confidence isn't something we're born with, it's something we build, step by step, mistake by mistake. So if this story inspired you even a little, subscribe to AI Tales, because here we believe every quiet voice deserves to rise, and your story might be next.